For a team with not much power, the Tampa Bay Rays have sure muscled up over the past 2 games here at Tropicana Field. 4 home runs have been the difference as the Rays have taken the first 2 of this 4-game series. Today, Kendall Graveman returns to the rotation. The young right-hander was sent to the minors at the end of April, but with some injuries to the staff, Graveman will make his return and hopes to stick around for the long haul. It's Game 3. A's and Rays coming up next. Saturday afternoon baseball from St. Petersburg, Florida. Beautiful look at downtown St. Pete. We're at Tropicana Field, and Kendall Graveman is going to get the start this afternoon for the Athletics. A's need a win. They've lost 4 in a row. It's Game 3 of the 4-game series. Oakland A's, Tampa Bay Rays coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Hey again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fossey, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Kendall Graveman made 4 starts in the big leagues. He struggled, went down to the minor leagues, made 4 starts. So, Ray, it'll be interesting to see if he made the necessary adjustments to get people out at the big league level.
You know, unfortunately, sometimes somebody has to go back to minor leagues to realize that maybe up here it takes a little bit more work. He was working hard here. Kendall Graveman was. He did go back to AAA, but while he was here, probably the one number stands out, the number of walks, as he had 9 walks in about 16 innings. That was not what we saw during spring training. He did pick up his first major league win against the Astros this game, and he pitched well because he made a very good throw to second base. He's a ground ball pitcher. He said coming back, he wants to pitch out in front to get the sink back on his fastball. Again, something he did not have early part of the season. He went to AAA. Let's see if he brings that back today.
And we probably don't talk enough about this next guy, Eric Sogard, how consistent he has been offensively and defensively. Tonight he's making his 31st consecutive start, and he's really done a nice job.
He's been an Iron Man. He's swinging the bat so well, coming through with big hits. He's almost standing at the plate like he knows where the pitch is going to be thrown. Last night, going the opposite field a couple of times. His defense, as always, spectacular. Up the middle, going to the right field, making over-the-shoulder plays. Just a tremendous player. A great guy to have. Remember, he started the season. He was going to play second, short, and third. He's playing at second base because of Zobrist, and he has not disappointed anybody with his tremendous play defensively, and really cannot forget about what he's done swinging the bat.
And we'll see what happens with Eric Sogard if he stays at second base when Ben Zobrist comes back next week. That's a decision for Bob Melvin and his staff. Now, when we come back, we'll head back inside the A's pregame live studios, and then we'll come back to Tropicana Field for Game 3 of the 4-game series. It's Graveman against Nathan Carnes.
by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. By Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places. And by DraftKings.com. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com with the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Enter promo code SLIDER for free entry.
So the Rays take the field for Game 3 of this 4-game series. The A's and the Rays, and the Rays have won the first 2 games of the series with 1 more to play tomorrow. That's Nathan Carnes, who's the rookie right-hander who will start this ball game for Tampa Bay. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 91 degrees, so a little hotter today than it was even yesterday. As always, we're inside. The crowd's still filing in. It's going to be a very nice crowd. There's a concert after the game. The Jackson 5 will be performing after the game, so that brings a few extra people out here in downtown St. Pete. Let's look at the lineup for the A's. It starts with Burns and then Semien, Reddick, Butler. Muncy will play third base. Fegley will catch. Sogard at second. Canha at first. And Fold in left.
And it is the right-hander. The A's have never seen this young man except on Adam Roden's video, and that is Nathan Carnes. 9th start, and earlier in his career this year, first 5, he walked several. That has not been the case his last 3. So the A's a patient team. See if he throws strikes, and they'll make him do that. And he does.
So Burns fouls the first pitch back. So we're underway. A 4:10 start local time. So late afternoon first pitch. Burns 292 the average, does not have a home run or an RBI, and he swings and misses, and it's 0-2. So the A's facing Nathan Carnes. Umpires today, Rob Drake is behind home plate calling balls and strikes. Big Joe West, there he is. He's the crew chief. Burns fouls it back into the upper deck. Semien to follow, and then Reddick.
I kind of found out that what we hoped would happen last night on the blown call at the plate on the 3-2 and the throw to second and was called the ball. David Rackley, the home plate umpire, and he missed it. He just flat out said he missed it. And he told Melvin that. He told everybody that. And I think Bob Melvin's best comment was, well, why did it have to be a ball? Couldn't it have been a strike? I mean, you miss a pitch. Does it always have to be a ball? And he just, I mean, he did what we had hoped he would do. Just admit it. Yep. Because it was such a bad call.
Cabrera in the hole, and Burns is going to have an infield hit. So Billy Burns starts out the ball game with an infield hit. See if the A's can get something going early. Let's look at the defense for the Rays. DeJesus is in left. Kiermaier in center. Souza in right. Forsythe is at third. Longoria is going to be the designated hitter. Cabrera at short. Franklin at second. Loney at first. And Rene Rivera is your catcher. So Evan Longoria, after the home run last night, he'll DH today. And here's Marcus Semien back in the lineup.
Back-to-back games for Asdrubal Cabrera at second base, or at shortstop, where he had to circle around in the hole, but both times he had speed at the plate, and both times A's hitters have been able to beat them out. And tough play, and you know, they talked about the range or lack of with Cabrera, but he has the range. Very difficult to throw out speedy in the case of Billy Burns, for sure.
Semien hitting right at 300 with 6 home runs and 15 RBIs. Burns not going, pitches up and in. A's lost on Thursday 3-0. They lost last night 5-2. A's have lost 4 in a row and 8 out of the last 9. They're 14-30 on the year. So it is time for a win streak. There's a strike, 1-1 the count. 9-16 on the road this year for the Athletics. See if tonight is the night where this offense kicks in a little bit. It's been a struggling offense in this series. 2 runs scored on 16 hits, and that includes the Burns hit. 4 extra base hits in the first 2 games of the series. But in the last 16 games, less than 3 runs a game for the A's. Offense was not the problem the first 28 games, but it has been the last couple weeks. Popped up to shallow center. Kiermaier comes in. He's under it, and he's got it. So Simeon is retired.
You know, the one thing we've talked about is the speed of Billy Burns and the ability to steal bases. And I think right now with the offense struggling the way it is, that anytime Billy Burns gets on first base, might as well try to run. I mean, because really everything to gain, nothing to lose.
Yep,
and get it to scoring position. And, you know, sure, you can hope for the long ball. And with his speed, the ball is hitting the gap, he's going to score anyway. But much easier to score from second on a single. And, boy, with the kind of speed he has, might as well push the envelope and make the catcher make a quick throw and throw him out.
I always thought, Ray, when you're hoping for something, that means you're sitting back and waiting.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
You got to be aggressive.
Yeah. And especially if you're not winning, you're not scoring runs, that is the best way. Better to be overly aggressive than passive.
Reddick, 302, 6 homers, 29 RBIs. Burns runs, good jump. Rivera's throw is off the glove, rolls into shallow center field, but Franklin backing it up, tracks it down.
And that was just like a pitch out, except the pitch was called a ball. It was not, but a perfect pitch for a catcher to throw. Billy Burns with his speed, head first slide, but the one thing that speed does, look at that pitch. Now that's a perfect pitch to throw. But watch Rivera, he has to rush himself to throw, and because of that, to throw into the runner. And Cabrera with the ball going into the runner, and it looked like Cabrera did try to hold him a little bit as he was trying to go to third base. And maybe he was holding him, telling him you can't go because somebody's backing up, which turned out to be the smart move.
So pitch called the ball, 1-0 to Reddick, and now 1-1. Butler to follow.
You can see how much infielders, catchers, pitchers have to change everything they're doing because of one element of the game that's called speed. And might as well utilize it. I think that was a perfect example of it.
Cabrera playing right behind Burns. And Reddick takes a strike. And it could be that Cabrera, I mean, you saw where it was a pretty close play. He may be rushing his tag.
That's right.
A little bit. And that forced him to miss the ball.
Hurrying to get to the bag. Doing a lot of things.
So Reddick behind in the count, 1-2. Outfield straight away. Broken bat grounder to third. Charged by Forsythe. Throws in time. So Carnes gets Reddick for the second out.
And the reputation for throwing a lot of curveballs that preceded this young man facing the A's for the first time. He's been throwing a lot of fastballs and maybe trying to establish the #1 pitch in the first inning.
Carnes is 27 years old. He's a big fella, 6'3", 225 pounds. He was originally with the Nationals, but was traded from the Nationals to the Rays in February of 2014. And pitched most of the season last year in the minor leagues. He did come up and make a couple starts at the end of the year for the Rays last year. But good minor league numbers throughout his minor league career, Carnes, and now a regular in the Rays rotation. He's in there thanks to some of the injuries, but he's done a pretty good job. 9th start of the year for Carnes. Only issue, 5th most walks in the American League. Ray, you mentioned that a little bit. 21 walks in 45 innings coming into today.
Rivera talking to Carnes prior to this at bat, and it may have been, you know, this is a veteran at the plate. You have Rook in the on deck circle, Max Muncy, who's performed well. But a lot of times the pitcher catcher will look at the veteran versus a rookie and say, this guy at the plate knows what it's like to drive in runs. Take a little bit of a chance with him. Maybe try to get him to swing at a pitcher's pitch. I give him the green light, 3-0. Pitching around and maybe make a mistake, 3-0.
Right down the middle for a strike. Butler hitting .269 with 4 home runs and 22 RBIs. He's 2 for 8 in this series. He's got an RBI. Got that with a sacrifice fly.
That look on the face of Bob Melvin and Mike Aldrete, manager and bench coach, almost as if to say, he had the green light. And I think Bob Melvin is the point that, especially Billy Butler's a veteran. He knows how to handle green light. Stephen Vogt, guys. And Bob Melvin has said, I give them the green light. A lot of times they just don't swing, and some guys just don't feel comfortable doing it.
So count is full. Burns at second. Little flare down the left field line. It's going to drop just foul. Ball was in on Butler.
Now, close enough that he had to swing, try to go inside off the plate, and probably were successful, but Butler just able to foul it, but not much authority in hitting it.
So we'll do 3-2 again. Rivera sets up outside this time, and the fastball is popped up down the right field line. Souza, a long run, he'll get there. Settles underneath it. Side retired. So the A's had a couple of opportunities to get Burns home. Can't do it. And the A's do not score. Bottom of the first coming up. In the bottom of the first, lineup has Kiermaier in center, Souza in right, Longoria the DH. Then it's Loney, Forsythe, DeJesus, Cabrera, Franklin, and Rivera.
Kendall Graveman back for the second time. Started this season with the Athletics, made 4 starts, now making his 5th after spending some time at AAA. Was optioned on the 26th of April. This been the 23rd, so just shy of a month at AAA Nashville. Comes back to make the first start, his first ever, against the Tampa Bay Rays.
And he'll face Kevin Kiermaier leading it off. Kiermaier, the speedy center fielder for the Rays. And now it's 2-0. In Graveman's 4 starts in the minor leagues, he was 2-1 with a 1.85 ERA. Pitch is a little high strike. Graveman will take it. So those are the numbers in Nashville. 4 starts, .213 opponent's batting average. Canha backhanded. It's not an easy play by Mark Canha. Backhand, kind of a in-between hop. So Canha takes care of it. So 1 away. Let's look at the rest of the A's defense. It's Folden left, Burns in center, Reddick in right. Then Muncy, Simeon, Sogard, and Canna with Fegley doing the catching.
Mark Canna, I don't know if he realized, started to go to first himself and then sees Graveman there and decided to feed it to him, get a nice assist. But a ground ball pitcher in Graveman's second start, that would have been at Houston when he picked up his first major league victory. 10 ground ball outs in that game. And for him to have success, sinker ball working, getting balls hit on the ground, keep him out of the air. He's given up 3 home runs. His last start came against the Astros at home, 4 2/3, 9 hits, 6 runs, and was optioned back to AAA or to AAA.
Facing Steven Souza, the right fielder. Souza 1 for 6 with a home run in this series. He's also struck out 5 times. Lays off that one. 1-2 the count. Overall 229 with 7 home runs and 17 RBIs.
Interesting article in the local paper today about Souza and his strikeouts, but also about how he's kind of arguing, upset with some of the pitches called against him. And we have talked about young players and how it's not a good idea as a pitcher or a hitter. You just, okay, whatever happens, happens. And you get buried less that way than if you argue too much.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was, and that one's right there. Strike 3 called. No argument there. Good pitch.
Good cut fastball. He got himself out of the rut. First 2 pitches out of the strike zone. And the move that the A's made to have Kendall Graveman activated for today's game with Coco placed on the disabled list for 15 days. At least that's the minimum. Cervical strain. He is not with the club. And another move will have to be made on Monday when Ben Zobrist is expected to be activated. He's in Nashville for this weekend.
And from what the reports are, he's doing fine.
Yeah.
So he's going to be ready to go.
Played yesterday, had a couple of hits, 2 for 3, drove in a couple of runs.
Well, and it'll be interesting if indeed he comes back on Monday, which is what is expected. Where does he play?
Yeah, that's, you know, I think you talked about in our open that it's kind of everybody expects second base, and Sogard has played so well that maybe he stays at second and maybe another position, which makes it nice for Zobrist because he is very versatile and plays so many different places. As those high school numbers playing at AAA, he's hitting .667.
Nice.
And that's with wooden bats, not aluminum. So again, a good cut fastball, a pitch that Graveman has been throwing very, very well.
Bounce toward third. Muncy backs up, throws in time, and a nice first inning for Kendall Graveman. A couple of ground balls and a strikeout. No score after 1 in St. Petersburg.
everything MLB.TV Premium. The #1 live streaming sports service is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Muncy to lead it off here in the second inning. First pitch, fastball for a strike from Nathan Carnes. Muncy, Fegley, and Sogard. Muncy playing third base today as Brett Lawrie a little bit banged up. In fact, we may not see Lawrie in the lineup tomorrow either. His back's bothering him a little bit, so he's going to get a couple days rest, according to the manager. Muncy skies one right behind second base. That's Asdrubal Cabrera, the shortstop, who grabs it.
And Josh Fegley, a memorable moment for him in 2013. How about this? Jeremy Hellickson, a base hit to right field. Let's throw that ball in after Gordon Beckham scores as the number 36, Josh Fegley, with his first major league hit. And there goes the pelota into the visiting dugout. Mishandled by a Cap.
Right through the chewing tobacco.
And the sunflower seeds and all that other stuff. First major league hit. Got all that stuff on it. And it's in his mantle, on his mantle someplace.
Fegley 244 the average. He's got a home run and 4 RBIs. It's this one in the air to right center. Kiermaier called off by Souza, and that's out number 2. Now Fegley in the lineup. Stephen Vogt getting a day off as well. Vogt's been playing a lot lately, so whether you're struggling or not as a team, you still got to give guys rest. I mean,
yeah, he's banged
up. It's hard
up
to do for a manager, but
he's banged up. He's coming off surgery in the offseason. He's had a phenomenal start. And Cap, you look at his numbers: 10 home runs, 31 driven in. After the 10th home run last night, all last year, and twice the at-bats, he had just 9 home runs and 35 driven in. And you talk about a compliment. I was interviewing Kevin Cash, the manager of the Rays, on A's warm-up radio side, and talking about Stephen Vogt after the fact, and said how much he's become a very good hitter. And he said he might be the best hitter we've seen in the American League. Talk about a compliment coming from an opposing manager, and that's how much Stephen Vogt has impressed a lot of people in baseball. And it also really, Cap, it allows for Bob Melvin to have a bullet off the bench. I mean, somebody to come off the bench, if necessary, late to pinch hit. I'd love to give him the full off day and then let him come back tomorrow. But if necessary, at the end, if the A's are down, you could always use him to pinch hit.
So Lawrie and Vogt out of the lineup today. 0-2 to Eric Sogard, hitting in the 7th spot today, and he lines that one to right, and that's a hit.
He must have known we were talking about him, highlighting him on our open, because that's a great example of a young man who just protects very quick. He may not hit a lot of home runs, but watch how he reacts on his fastball in with 2 strikes. Just plants the front foot, opens up the hips, and that is another solid base hit to right field, and just keeps impressing. Last night, a couple of hits to left center, pitches outside. This one they try to go in. So from a catcher standpoint, you're back to how do we pitch this guy? And it makes it difficult because he uses the whole field.
So here's Canna. Slider outside to Canna, who's slowly starting to feel a little bit better. He's been very sick lately, but maybe not fully back to 100%, but it wasn't that long ago where he didn't even come to the ballpark because he was so sick. Canna playing first base this afternoon. He's scuffling. He's 0 for his last 20. Overall, the batting average at .212 with 5 home runs and 15 RBIs. Outside corner strike, and now Canna's behind in the count 1-2.
Well, just on the outside corner, slight tailing action. The ball catching the outside corner. He didn't think it was a strike, but he asked Rob Drake. Guy is slumping. Opposite field hitting is usually the best way to get out of it.
Checked his swing. Joe West says no. Well, there's a huge hole on the right side as Franklin, the second baseman, way over towards second base.
Joe West at first base seeing this and said no. As Joe knows, because Joe's a veteran. He's had that opportunity many times, umpiring first and third on the appeal swings.
A's had a runner at second with one out in the first inning. A couple of cracks at getting an early lead. They could not get it done. 2-out single for Sogard here in the second. Sogard runs and it's fouled off the catcher's mask.
I wonder every time the catcher, that was a pretty direct on shot. It was Kevin Cash, former catcher, but I wonder what John Jaso thinks as this happens. A straight shot right above the seeing portion of that mask. Just listen.
And he just raised up a little bit because the runner was going. He was ready to throw.
John Jaso, pretty good catcher, may never catch again because of back-to-back years of those similar shots.
Sogard runs and the ball's line center field. That's a base hit. Sogard keeps right on going to third. 2-out rally for the A's.
Great news. A couple of hits, bad news, 2 outs. I mean, they just need to start these rallies at the beginning of an inning. But this is great for Canha because it gets the breaking ball. There's the signature curveball thrown by Carnes, and with Sogard on the move, it was going to be a base hit regardless. The only hope there was there'd be a bobble by Kiermaier center field, but Sogi able to see it easily, and it was going to center and just keep going.
Well, the numbers tell us that Carnes loves to throw his curveball.
Exactly.
And he throws it a lot.
And if he throws a lot like he just threw the one to Canha, the A's should hit it because it was not the sharp breaking one straight down.
Fuld bluffs a bunt, pitch called the ball, 1-0. Sam Fuld hitting 198, no home runs, 5 RBIs. 1 for 6 in the series. So runners at the corners. So the curveball breakdown for Carnes. Throws it 25.9% of the time. That's the third highest percentage in the majors.
Well, some guys don't even throw a curve. It's usually a cutter or a slider and a split. But a real curveball, not many throw it.
A.J. Burnett is first. Jose Quintana from the White Sox is second. A.J. Burnett throws it 30% of the time. He's always had a good curveball.
I bet Barry Zito's numbers were up there high, too.
I would think, yeah. A.J. Burnett back with the Pirates and pitching extremely well for Pittsburgh.
He thought about retiring.
He did. Carnes, nice play to knock it down underhands to first side, retired. So the A's strand 2. And we're going to the bottom of the second. It'll be Loney, Forsythe at the Jesus score. this 4-game series. Kendall Graveman had a nice 3-up, 3-down first inning, couple of ground ball outs and a strikeout. And Loney goes after the first pitch, hits it high and foul, and it'll be into the seats down the third base line. .277 for Loney with a couple of home runs. He's 2 for 8 in this series. So, Ray, if I had to say, well, what do you want to see from Graveman more of or less of, depending on what it is, compared to the first 4 starts in the big leagues when he really struggled?
Probably calmness, sink like that, getting ground ball outs. I mean, that's basically it.
That's his game if he's going to be successful. Here's our true story brought to you by McDonald's. April 14th of this year, Kendall Graveman gets his first major league win. He did it at Minute Maid Park in Houston against the Astros. Pitched into the 6th inning. Didn't give up any runs. 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. He threw 96 pitches, and it was a W.
And that was the 10 ground ball out game. Okay, but you saw that number 18 taking a throw from Graveman, turning a double play. Was Ben Zobrist was playing second that night. But also, it was a game in which Kendall Graveman had worked with Kurt Young in between starts. Remember this first game he threw the ball in center field on a pickoff in Oakland, and that was kind of the beginning of the end for him. But he worked in between starts and made that good one. But the game, you know, pitchers have adversity. Adversity being that if something goes wrong behind them, and he just seemed to not be able to handle it, starting with the exhibition game in San Francisco, the Bay Bridge series, and then his first major league start. And sometimes just a quick trip back to AAA. He sat with Barry Zito a lot, talked to Barry a lot. And I'm sure the experience of Barry helped him tremendously. The front door cut fastball for a strike.
1-2 the count to Logan Forsythe. Bounce to Muncy on the backhand. Long throw, and it's dug out by Canna. So Muncy had to give a little ground to get a good hop, and that made the throw much longer and much more difficult, but he made it. Canna dug it out.
Well, that's a good point, because right there he started to go in, decided to go back, and then get the throw far enough out in front, although that was a short hop, handled nicely by Canna. And ideally, if you're going to do that, if you can, and I know guys have worked on it, you throw the ball for the bounce and use this turf, more or less have it bounce on the turf, but this was on the dirt, and a nice play, especially by Canna at first base on the pick.
2 outs for De Jesus. Good movement there. Catches the outside corner. De Jesus 2 for 6 in the series. Of course, the big game on Thursday night with the homer and the double. Good season. 317. He's got 18 RBIs. Really playing mostly just against right-handers. He only has 3 at-bats against left-handed pitchers this year, so sounds like a full platoon to me.
Some guys want to play every day. Some guys are happy if it's a platoon so they can see a pitcher throwing it one particular way. In this case, you see righties, your left-handed hitter.
Inside, and the count 1-2. So 5 up, 5 down for Kendall Graveman so far. There's a line drive, left center field, the base hit. Ford hustles over. So David De Jesus with a 2-out single.
It's amazing how many times you see a fastball down, down, down. You get one elevated like this one, and this is what happens. There's a difference of being down at the knees or thigh or waist high, and what a hitter's able to do with a pitch. And as we saw Thursday night, a similar ball hit by De Jesus to left field. Left center field actually driving in a run from first. And you elevate, makes it easier for a hitter.
So De Jesus aboard. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Shows bunt, ball sinks low. Cabrera was 1 for 4 last night. One hit was a double. He did not play on Thursday night. Cabrera's one-year deal this past offseason was for $7.5 million. As Ray mentioned last night, he had some two-year deal offers out there, but teams wanted him to play third base, and he really wanted to stay at shortstop. So the Rays said, "You're trading Escobar to the A's, that you can play shortstop for us."
Escobar ended up with the Nationals. The A's did not have him very long.
And Escobar is playing second base with the Nationals, which I think he very much likes to play shortstop as well.
It's really been
inside corner strike.
It's been said around here that with Escobar playing short, while he had some good games, it was kind of like they didn't know what they were going to get out of him.
A little erratic at times.
And that's why, according to the sabermetrics and the percentages of errors and coverage and everything, it kind of went the wrong way as far as being a very good infielder.
And a good pitch as it ties up Cabrera. He can't get to it, and that's the second strikeout for Kendall Graveman. No score as we head to the third. Night, Chris Archer, he's very good. Collected his 5th win of the season, and he had 8 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings. He walked 4, gave up just 1 run through 107 pitches, and he got his 5th win. So Chris Archer, lots of strikeouts, and he was good enough last night to get the W. And so he'll sit back and relax for the next 4 days.
Or if they have an off day, an extra day.
Good ERA, 2.40. Among the league leaders in strikeouts in the American League.
Kuip, I did find out about the Archer stripes, the socks. It's a unity thing. That we saw last night. The number, let's see, it's Rivera the catcher, Loney the first baseman, Longoria the third, and the center fielder were all wearing the Archer stripe stirrups. And I understand it's a unity thing. Today they're back to normal, all of them with the pant legs down.
And I know Archer has always wore his pant legs up high like that.
With the stripes. Now, see, Sogard does it every day. I mean, he doesn't wait for just special times for pitchers. Jesse Hahn wears the Sogard look. But every 5th day, the Rays bring out those stirrup socks. At least certain players do.
Curveball on the inside corner, strike to Semien. Semien hit a fly ball to center field in the 1st inning. Back in the lineup, although he did get in last night. Pinch hit, stayed in the game. working hard again today with Ron Washington.
You know, the one thing about Wash working with him, and we have seen and actually been very impressed with the way Marcus Semien has been able to have his difficulties maybe at shortstop with the number of errors. There's Ron Washington. But it has not affected his hitting. And I think what we don't want to see is that so much work and emphasis on his shortstop that his hitting starts to take effect. And the one thing he's been doing, which is great, hitting over 300, but hitting line drives. But the first ball hit to center field, kind of getting under some of the pitches now. But you don't want to be overloaded in one aspect of the game to where it affects the other parts of it.
Well, obviously we haven't seen it yet because his offense has been very good. But listen, I mean, if you bring a coach in, a special defensive coach, and the main reason he's there is for you,
yep,
you're going to notice, I mean, you know what's going on.
Sure.
But Marcus Semien comes across as a very confident young man in a good way. And you're right, it has not bothered his offense. Three and two. Tap behind the bag. Cabrera, nice play. Quick throw to first, and not in time. Semien beat it out. Cabrera made a quick throw on a close play at first. Joe West called Semien safe. And Kevin Cash is waiting on his call from the replay booth. Looked like he was safe.
Yeah, and the old inconclusive may be part of this one because Cabrera played it as well as he could. And bang, bang, and you could just see how he scooped it, and Kevin Cash is going to say, no, let's not take a chance because it probably would have been upheld anyway. So that's 3 infield hits. That's 10th for him, but one of them last night. But Cabrera is short. He's had some difficult plays, and while his range is good, his arm strength really is not that great. And it kind of reminds me, he threw out one base runner, just barely got him. Kind of like the Omar Vizquel towards the end of his career. He threw just hard enough to get the runner by a step. And sometimes that's dangerous.
Reddick with a swinging strike. So the count 0-1. Reddick bounced out to third. His first at bat.
Just think at times a hitter, in the case of Semien on the ground ball, it was pitched maybe out of the strike zone, but as he was swinging, he was running. And you get a good jump out of the batter's box instead of a big swing that slows the hitter down, especially from the right side. He's not going to get down the line as quickly.
So the A's now with 4 hits against Nathan Carnes. Not close. 1-1 the count. Keep an eye on Semien. He's 7 for 7 in steal attempts this year. So another thing that he has done well.
And you saw Burns still in the first. Sogard was running last inning. And maybe they're seeing something with Carnes and his delivery.
Reddick pulled off that one. Looks like he was trying to hit it into the seats. So 4 hits in the first 3 innings for the A's off Carnes. And coming into this start, the league was hitting 196 against the right-hander, giving up 32 hits in 45 innings. Almost a strikeout per innings pitched. Reddick reaches for that one. So it could be that the walks have got him a little bit. He's given up 6 home runs, which is quite a bit in 45 innings. Semien runs, pitches high, throw to second base. He is in time, and they got it. It's a good throw by Rene Rivera. And No need to look at the replay on that one.
But again, a pretty good pitch to throw. Pitch was up. Semien running straight all the way for the straight steal, but you could really see, I mean, the throw was right on the bag. And Semien, while he can run fast, the speed of Billy Burns changed everything, and Rivera had to hurry, and there's just your difference. He took his time and threw out Semien.
So Reddick is retired. Semien thrown out trying to steal, and just like that, the top of the third comes to an end. Bottom of the third coming up. Rain clouds off in the distance. And generally when it rains here in St. Petersburg, you know it's coming. And it rains hard. And then it stops, and then everything's fine. But it is supposed to rain tonight.
You know, just looking at this roof, you can tell it's dark outside because it's only 5 o'clock local time. And if it were really light outside, that bright light would be coming through this translucent ceiling.
Nick Franklin hits one in the air to center. Hits pretty well. But looks like Burns is going to have room. Warning track, and he's got it. Well, we've been here doing a day game when it's been raining outside, and it was raining so hard we could hear the rain hitting the top of the roof.
Absolutely.
You remember that?
That's right.
And we looked outside, and it was pouring.
Well, there's the thunder as you speak.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Feels like rain, doesn't it?
Hot and muggy and rainy.
But not in this perfectly controlled.
Sogard has to skip over the bag as he makes the play, throws to first, 2 outs.
And there's Joe saying right there, the right guy hit it. A catcher who is not very fleet of foot. That was Rivera who topped the ball. And Sogard, a lot of times you'd see the guy hurrying, but he just took his time. As you mentioned, it's like turning a double play. In the neighborhood, caught it, threw out Rivera by plenty. So nice, easy play for Sogard. At least he made it look easy because very knowledgeable of the hitter.
So down to the top of the order in Kevin Kiermaier. Fastball right there, first strike. So I got 5 ground ball outs so far for
Exactly right.
Kendall Graveman, 5 out of his 8 outs.
6.
Semien to Canna, side retired. Nice 3-up, 3-down inning for Kendall Graveman. 4th inning coming up. Butler, Muncy, and Fegley to hit. No score. to you by Prism. Now your team can collaborate at a whole new level with video walls from Prism. Learn how at Prism.com. Hey, our hotel's right over there somewhere. These guys were awesome. It's Motown night, and they're doing a good job.
Yes, they weren't. I mean, yes, they were.
Jackson 5 concert after the ball game, so it'll be a fun night at Tropicana Field. And a good ball game so far. 0-0 fourth inning. Carnes and Graveman both pitching well. Butler hit a fly ball to right field in the first.
Starting to throw a few more curveballs is this right-hander. Showed the 25%, so a quarter of his pitches typically are in the curveball variety. And those are all the scouting reports. That's why I use the fastball a little bit more often the first 3 innings. Now starting to bring the curveball out more.
Good pitch there, fastball. Kept it away from Butler. So 2-2. Muncy to follow, and then Fegley here in the fourth. Little flare, and that's going to get down. It's picked up by Franklin, and he's going to throw to first. I wasn't ready for that.
I was afraid of it.
Franklin almost got him. And it almost looked like Franklin knew it. Like he said, I'm not going to dive for this. Yep. I'm going to field it and then see if I can get Butler.
It's like a base hit to right field, and the right fielder thrown him out, and it was close. If Loney had stretched a little bit more towards the outfield, although the throw was the inside, so he stretched as far as he could. But let's go, Billy, get going. You better hurry, because they're going to come after you. Poof. And you can't even say that's an infield hit.
It's an outfield hit, sort of.
He was running like an infield hit on a ball to the outfield.
So here's Muncy. Muncy takes the strike. So 5 hits now for the A's off of Nathan Carnes. Fastball running away. Couple of finals in the American League. The Mariners beat the Blue Jays for the second day in a row. 3-2 was the final. James Paxton won 6 innings to get his 3rd win. And Fernando Rodney got his 12th save. Kyle Seager hit his 6th home run. So the Mariners won last night 4-3 behind Felix Hernandez, who got his 7th win. They win again today 3-2. So Seattle now 20-22 on the year. And boy, the Blue Jays are really struggling. They have now lost 9 of their last 11 games. So the Blue Jays lineup, which is very good, but this team's struggling. They are now 19-26. Talking about Toronto. Well, the Mariners will go for the sweep tomorrow. Paxton starting to throw better, the young left-hander. He struggled a little bit early on. He's settling in. Major shift for Muncy. And that one, Carnes thought he had strike 3, and he's probably not the only one that thought it was strike 3.
So did David Rackley, third base umpire. He was back there last night, and see how Rivera caught the ball and brought it up more into the strike zone, but like Rob Drake saw it now.
Once he fouls it straight back. Nobody shifts more than the Rays. Through yesterday, 537 times they have put the defensive shift on.
Is that
the Rays and the Astros a lot more. I mean, twice as much as the Yankees almost.
A's just 145. Nice note there, Hoodie.
That one is called a strike. Once he thought he had ball 4, catches the outside corner, I guess. So Carnes gets his first strikeout.
Well, same height, but this ball tailing right to the outside corner and just catching the corner. And Muncy a pretty good eye this time, though. A little bit too much.
And that was one of those pitches you saw where the catcher caught it, and where he caught it, it may have been an inch or two off the plate, but there was so much movement. I think it probably did catch the corner of the plate when it went across the plate.
Well, maybe Tommy Adza could show us a side shot, like a first or third camera, and you could see the distance between the home plate and the batter.
So Fegley with a hard hit ball into left field for a hit.
A home plate and the catcher, and the distance between home plate and where the catcher is. This is on Muncy, and ball tails right there, but he catches it kind of inside the white line. But he's probably a good 3 feet behind home plate. So that's the importance of an umpire calling the ball where it crosses the plate, not where the catcher catches it.
And you saw a lot of movement. So 2 on, 1 out for the A's. So another opportunity as Sogard steps in. Sogard, a single back in the second inning. He's 4 for 8 in this series. First pitch is low. So these are the spots where the A's just have not been able to get anything going. They were 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position last night. They were 2 for 8 on Thursday, but they didn't score any runs on the 2 hits.
And they're 0 for this game as far as scoring runs so far. And Sogard from 9th to 2nd, today 7th. So for manager Bob Melvin, trying to put a lineup together to get the most production. And this is what the A's are today. The series 2 for 23. So Bob Melvin spends a lot of time at the park, comes out early and tries to figure out the best lineup, and Sogard doesn't come through here.
Souza coming in, Franklin out, and Franklin grabs it.
They didn't call it, did they? Was it called?
I think Joe West had his arm up, which means infield fly roll. Although that was out into right field quite a ways.
Second baseman, that becomes the discretion of the umpire if it's more of an outfielder's play or infielder. But if he did put it up, I was kind of looking at that, and Joe's at first base, who would have been the closest to make the call.
So 2 outs. And the pitch to Canna, line drive right field, but right at Souza, who makes the catch, falls backwards, and so it goes for the Athletics. Canna hit it right on the nose. A's strand 2 more. They've stranded 5 through the first 4 innings. Advantage in the Western Conference Finals, and tonight it's Game 3 in Houston, the Toyota Center, for complete Warriors playoff coverage. Tune in to Comcast Sportsnet Playoff Central an hour before every game. Also get post-game and on Sportsnet Central. Coverage begins tonight at 5 p.m. So in Houston tonight, Warriors and the Rockets. Cavaliers lead the other series, the Eastern Conference Finals, 2-0 over the Atlanta Hawks. Could it be a Warriors-Cavs NBA final? Would that be fun or what? Still some work to do.
Well, the main thing is LeBron going back to Cleveland.
Yep, trying to get the city of Cleveland the championship.
Trying to get them to like him again. Because they weren't happy when he left, but boy, they were ecstatic when he decided to come back.
Souza chased a pitch way outside, so the count 2-2.
I hope he wasn't asking if it was a strike or if he did he swing. I think
he got mad and he swung, watch, and he hit Fegley. Right after that, he kind of swung his bat back the other way, and I think he just nicked Fegley. He was asking Fegley if he was okay. So 3-2 to Steven Souza. Struck out looking in the first inning. And that one is strike 3 called. And I would think for a guy who's a home run hitter, good power hitter, this would be a pitch you'd want to take a rip at.
Had a little cut action on 3-2. The cutter right there and a little bit above the waist, but a pitch that Rob Drake liked. And umpire could say, you know, kid, you swung at a pitch a foot outside because you're looking fastball, and then you get a cutter 3-2.
That's true.
He should have been swinging, and you can't take anything close. And while it might have been close to be high, but you cannot take chances.
So one away for Longoria, who's the DH tonight. Longoria grounded out in the first inning.
Well, last night, a 1-2 fastball. Look at where Stephen Vogt sets up inside part of the plate, and look where the pitch is. It's outside. And Stephen Vogt, too much in this road trip, and really for the season, has had to look and wonder if the pitch had been made where I called it, how much of a difference would there have been? And we saw it in Houston when Gaddis hit the home run, and when also Rasmus hit the home run. So, I mean, it just... the selection and the idea is okay. It's just the execution and putting the pitch where you're supposed to has not worked out so far for the Athletics. Graveman today has done a pretty good job.
And see there, target outside, he missed inside, which is
backed up. Yeah, that one. Yeah, it was a cutter slider that backed up a little bit. Sometimes they have the reverse spin or just do not break as sharply as you expect them to. Like that.
Sogard's under it. And Sogard has it.
And there's your cut fastball. One from a hitter standpoint. You can see Longoria, a very good fastball hitter. He starts his swing, and just as he went after it, it cut ever so slightly towards the end of the bat, and the result is just an easy pop-up.
So 2 away for James Loney. There's the pitch usage for Graveman. So he likes that cutter. And of course, his bread and butter, though, is still the good sinking fastball. He has a very good one. But part of that equation, too, is Graveman, I don't think he's ever going to be a guy who really strikes out a lot of people because he's more of a ground ball guy. But then you got to catch the ball behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Canna has it. Flips to Graveman, and a 3-up, 3-down inning. 7 in a row retired by Kendall Graveman. And we're headed to the 5th inning. It'll be full Burns and Simeon. No score.
jersey and show your pride on Athletics Jersey Day, Friday, May the 29th. To get ready, make it all new, majestic, cool base jersey. And it's now available at the A's team store at athletics.com.
That's a good-looking dance party. Anytime you have Shaggy and Scooby in the dance party, it's good. You throw Fred and Daphne and Thelma in there, and then you got the whole gang.
You got them all down.
Yes. Watched that as a kid. Come on. I mean, check it out. Shaggy and Scooby. I mean, that's all good. Stomper in the mix.
Stomper got decked last night. How do you even get up off the deck enough to do that today?
Yeah, he iced himself down, and he's ready to go. So they're having fun tonight at Tropicana Field. 0-2 to Sam Fuld inside. Fuld bounced out to the pitcher in the second inning, stranding a couple of runners. No score, top of the fifth. Burns to follow, and then Semien. Fuld hitting in the ninth spot. 6 hits for the A's, 1 hit for the Rays. Tap to the left side. Forsythe, the third baseman, has it. Sam Fuld is retired. Sam reached for that one. May have swung at a ball.
It was out of the strike zone. Sometimes the player comes back to a team that had him, traded him, and wants to try to do a lot. He's done a very good job in the outfield, but swinging the bat, especially that time, could have been 3-2 after starting 0-2. I've got a note from a good friend, Johnny Dasco.
How's Johnny doing?
Johnny's doing great, and his dad watching the game. So while people here are having fun because of a great production crew, the truck showing everything going on here back along network, Comcast Sportsnet California. So Johnny D able to watch the game. So we wish him the best as always. One of the best, Johnny Dasco.
You know what? I just got a text from Johnny Dasco as well, saying hello. Johnny was here with us.
That's right.
3-4 years ago. One of the trips he made when he was filling in on radio, and we had a lot of fun with Johnny in St. Petersburg.
Especially at the hotel.
He's one of the good guys in baseball, Johnny Dasco.
Remember that? He was going to his room about 3 in the morning and said, Johnny, you have that room? Oh, no, Johnny. Because there have been talk
That's
about.
Right. We told him the hotel we stayed at was haunted.
Yeah.
And the rumor is that it is.
And
I think he's
worse than that. The room he got, we told him was the room.
That's the room. Yeah.
and he
that's
said,
the one.
No, that's not. And arrival here is about 3 or 4 in the morning and half asleep. And
that's right.
Johnny put the key in the door and said, "Oh, Johnny, you got that room." Oh,
that's
no,
a
buddy.
good one. Line drive, what a play by Logan Forsythe. So he was playing in, and he just reached up. Good reactions.
But the approach by Billy Burns is outstanding, and it's unfortunate that the old Annabelle, look where the third baseman's playing. The shot was hard. Left field was not going to catch it. Would have been just a single, but that would have been great. But instead, Billy Burns, no chance to get to first and steal second, and shaking his head and thinking, I got to change my approach. Everything's being caught now.
First pitch to Semien is a slider for a strike, 0-1. So Johnny got the haunted. Oh, man, he made us laugh. Belted to left center, hit pretty well. DeJesus on the move, and DeJesus right in front of the 370-foot sign makes the catch. Side retired. Johnny Dasco, it is not a haunted room. That's our message to Johnny. No scores to go to the bottom of the fifth. brought to you by Evergood Sausage Company. Get grillin'. No score. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. Kendall Graveman has been very good in his first start since being called back up from the minor leagues. So he'll face Forsythe, DeJesus, and Cabrera. He's allowed just 1 hit. He's got 3 strikeouts. He has not walked anybody, and he's retired 7 in a row. 7 ground ball outs. So all good so far for Kendall Graveman. Shot fair down the third base line. Forsythe is going to go into second with a leadoff double. Just fair past Muncy.
Well, when you're a ground ball pitcher, sometimes things like that happen. And for Graveman, got the ground ball, the two-seamer coming right back in with a swing, and there it is, just passed. And really not much of a chance playing in with the bag for Muncy to do anything except just watch it go fair.
So here's DeJesus, who had a base hit in the second inning. First pitch in, and hits DeJesus on the leg. So now first and second, nobody out.
The two-seam fastball that was thrown to Forsythe that came in, while the same pitch was attempted to be thrown to DeJesus, but it did not come back. Stayed on the right above the knee.
So they'll start to move around a little bit. Not in the A's bullpen. So the hitter is Asdrubal Cabrera. Possibility of a bunt here, Ray? Who knows?
Yeah, I'd say it's a very good possibility.
And he kind of jabbed at it and fouled it to the screen.
Well, it is called a sacrifice for a reason, and you're sacrificing yourself, trying to give yourself up.
Well, you got a good pitching staff, and the A's are struggling to score runs. You can see where Kevin Cash would put on the bunt here.
Right. Now, Muncy playing at third. Of course, Graveman, his job is to, once he delivers the ball, to head towards third base, and that's ideally where Cabrera is going to try to bunt the ball to force Muncy to make the play.
Not bunting this time, but the pitch is outside. So 1-1 to Asdrubal Cabrera, who struck out swinging in the second inning. On deck is Nick Franklin, the switch hitter.
Maybe Kevin Cash saw the first attempt and said, let's not waste another pitch.
Rolled over on that one, dribbles it foul toward Franklin in the on deck circle.
Kind of a lost art, and still think that regardless of where you're hitting in the lineup, everybody should be able to bunt, because you just never know when the opportunity is going to come up, and you can see that no sacrifice bunts. And again, like you said, with a team that's relying really on pitching and defense, small things make a successful team, and especially a sacrifice.
2-pitch sinker down and away. There's also there's a feel to each individual game, and this one feels like it's going to be a grind to score a handful of runs. 2-2 pitch and a changeup and a big strikeout for Graveman. Took something off. Lots of downward action.
Well, you could hear the scream from Cabrera because he was upset. He just wanted to make contact, worst case, to be able to pull the ball and have a productive out, but very upset with himself. So that's a great one. If you're a ground ball pitcher, as we always say, you're a ground ball away from getting out of an inning, especially after a big strikeout. And what a difference a non-sacrifice bunt really makes, especially in this situation.
So here's Franklin with one out. Franklin hit a deep fly ball to center field in the third inning. Franklin, not a real big guy, but he does have some power. You know, they told us that when he was with the Mariners last year. You know, the Mariners they liked this kid quite a bit, and they thought that chance to be a pretty good big league hitter. And the Rays wanted him in that big 3-team trade. David Price, Tigers, Mariners, and the Rays. And right as the thunder outside lets everybody know that rain is coming, Franklin steps out. The umpire bailed out, and Graveman threw the pitch. There was no pitch.
And you see Franklin kind of tapping himself as they do. It's my fault. And he asked for time too late, and he's right. And Franklin clanked it. The umpire, Bob Drake, got out of the way. And really, because there's just a little thunder, it doesn't mean this roof it's covered. It's not like you're outdoors.
1-0 pitch is foul back. So Franklin, you see, he immediately kind of said, "Hey, my bad," to the pitcher, and I think he just probably said it to the umpire as well. So Forsythe at second, DeJesus at first.
Look at the pitch. It was a fastball down the middle, too. He's probably thinking, why did I even consider all those things? Swing it. It's a good sharp cutter, and that's one of the better pitches today for Kendall Graveman. This cutter just breaking sharply and the hitter swinging over it. Pitch out of the strike zone, but good swing and miss.
One-two pitch toward left field. Fold is there. Trots in and over. He's got it. So 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
Cutter in, sinker away.
So now it'll be Rene Rivera. Fegley and Graveman make sure they're on the same page.
Actually, that time, Kipe, and sometimes you see it where a pitcher actually called Fegley out to go over again how they want to approach another critical at bat because of a runner in scoring position.
Rivera grounded out to Sogard in the 3rd inning. First pitch is a fastball on the outside corner, first strike. Rivera was part of that big trade with the Padres, the 3-team trade that Will Myers was involved in. Rivera came over from the Padres. 11 home runs for San Diego last year. One pitch. Good. Right on the outside corner. So Graveman painting the outside corner to Rivera with the first 2 pitches. It's raining, folks, outside because we can hear it on the roof.
Hear it on the roof.
Poked foul.
Cabby we had the other night said his roof collapsed because of so much rain.
Yeah.
We hope this roof here doesn't collapse.
I don't think it will.
I don't either. Too many rings up there holding it up.
Fouled straight back again. Count remains 0-2. 65 pitches for Graveman so far. And he got him. Took a little off. And that is strikeout number 5. And Graveman works out of the jam. So we are scoreless after 5.
Fields for the 2015 baseball and softball season. Fields at Hayward High School and San Leandro Little League Complex were refurbished as part of the Energize Your Field program presented by PG&E. To nominate your field to be refurbished, go to athletics.com/Energize Your Field. Energize Your Field with the A's, Good Tidings Foundation and PG&E.
Top of the 6th of a scoreless game. Reddick, Butler, and Muncy for the A's. Ground out to third and a ground out to first for Reddick. Now the count 1-1.
And Josh Reddick has got a couple of friends here. His high school baseball coaches here. Came over to watch him play this weekend. And it's Tony Kirkland who actually made Josh an outfielder. He was a shortstop. Surprise, surprise. But it seems like a lot of guys, shortstops. And Tony's here watching him, and Josh really thinks a lot about him and how much he helped him get to this level.
Yeah, pretty smart move, moving to the outfield.
Well, you know, the coach, he's pretty smart. He said when I saw his eyes that he could be able to watch the ball off the bat and go to where it's going to be, like an outfielder should, he said he had a pretty good idea he should be an outfielder.
Pokes that one into left field for a leadoff single.
Well, time now for the forward right choice, and how about for Kendall Graveman? What a job. He puts the first 2 runners on base and then strike out. That's a huge one because Cabrera was upset. Then a fly ball to left field on a good sinker away. And then he takes something off, a cut fastball to get Rivera for the 3rd out. And a huge, huge job of getting out of a tough jam, first and second. The key at that was Cabrera not being able to sacrifice, get a couple runners in scoring position.
So here's Butler, Reddick aboard. First pitch is a strike on the inside corner.
But the one thing that Tony Kirkland said, that his wife, because this huge A's fan, has his son here, said he bought him a nice ceramic, like a helmet with the A's on it, and he asked Josh to sign it, to put up something special. And he said, Tony, I'm still angry you made me an outfielder. He wanted to be a shortstop. But I think Josh Reddick made the right move.
Yep.
Very good
Gold glove
outfielder.
to show for it.
Absolutely. And his high school coach wore number 22, so that's why he was not opposed to giving up 16 to Billy Butler and don the number 22. And it is pouring down rain right now.
It has to be, because
if we can hear it.
We can hear it. So a runner in scoring position for the A's. See if Muncy or Fegley can get him in. Muncy has popped out and struck out. First pitch outside. In there for a strike with a fastball. So the A's 0 for 6 today with runners in scoring position. So that continues to be an issue. I do think, Ray, that's one of those areas where you get into a slump, but sometimes it really can just be one big hit.
Exactly.
Somebody come through with a big hit. It takes the pressure off everybody a little bit.
I was reading about a team recently, and I know you read it and probably can remind me of who. That's a pass ball.
And it is, and the A's will take it. Reddick goes to third.
It sounded like a foul tip, but it's actually off the mask or the glove of Rivera. And it looked like the ball took off on Rivera and was not able to. And almost Rob Drake helped him. Off the tip of the glove, actually hit the inside leg of Rob Drake, the home plate umpire, but still deflected back to the backstop. So I would think a pass ball. I want to make sure that this run is given up. It's not an earned run. Somebody had 10 hits with runners in scoring position just recently. There was a team that had, I can't remember which team it was, but to have that number of hits is remarkable. When you go 0 for 11, 0 for 12, you think about just getting 1 or 2 and how much of a difference it could make in a game.
It could win you the game.
Yeah. Right now with the infield in because of the pass ball.
3-1 pitch is high, and there's the walk. So first and third, one out for Fegley.
It's Jim Hickey, Kevin Cash on the phone to the bullpen. Find out if his lefty's ready, which I'm sure he is. Sogard, the scheduled on deck hitter.
So that's Xavier Cedeno, who pitched in last night's game. 96 pitches for Cards. So it is a full meeting of everybody in a white uniform.
And a good thing about today, Kendall Graveman coming back, just activated from AAA, making a very good start. And that big inning was the bottom of the 5th when he had the 2-1 and got out of the jam. And now a chance maybe for his club to take the lead after preventing the Rays. And for Carnes, and we have seen in this series, it's been 5 1/3 of the starters in the first 2 innings, and Carnes now struggling in the 6th. And like you said, Kai, you have a bullpen that's worked that much because the starters don't go deep. They actually made a move. The Rays did. The kid who hit the home run last night, about a 480-foot home run. Oh, by the way, you have an option, so we're going to bring up another reliever.
That's right. And they did.
Yeah, let's back up.
Kenny Romero, a left-hander. So they have 3 left-handers and 5 right-handers in their bullpen. Their bullpen has thrown the most innings in the major leagues, 146 2/3.
And there's a case of a very good hitter, a power hitter, that's penalized in essence because he did have options and had to make room for a reliever because his starters aren't going deep enough.
0-1 to Fegley, and he swings at a breaking ball, and it's 0-2. Yeah, in this series, the bullpen for the Rays has thrown 7 2/3 innings.
First and third, pressure on the pitcher, yet Fegley swinging at a pitch in the dirt. Nice block by catcher Rivera, but just be patient, especially with the infield halfway. They're looking for 2. Fegley is very strong, especially to use the whole field, hit it where he wants to.
And the ball comes rolling from the bullpen all the way past the first baseman and right to home plate.
And that's, as we discussed on Thursday night, the bullpen set up differently. At the Coliseum, that ball would have been in the outfield. Here it comes rolling down.
Right to home plate.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
So 0-2 to Fegley. And he chased a pitch in the dirt, and that's a strikeout.
I don't know if
two outs.
I don't know if he saw a strike, and Johnny Cash not going to waste any time. Kevin Cash going to the bullpen, but well, this was just not being patient and sitting back, and Fegley wanted so badly to drive in that run, but no chance with a breaking ball the way it was.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. Cedeno, the lefty, coming in to face Sogard.
That's Memorial Day, May 25th, for a special holiday matinee. A's will take on the Detroit Tigers 1:05 p.m. That afternoon, 15,000 fans will get an A's road cap presented by Comerica Bank. Get your tickets now by calling 877-493-BALL or visit athletics.com/tickets. Hey, Mike, that's a good out-of-town cap. Hey, it was Mike's birthday yesterday. Yours was
Mike?
this week?
Who's going to do?
Oh,
is this a three-man booth?
Yeah, big Mike over here. Stat
Mike's our stat guy, if you're wondering who Mike is.
Your birthday was Wednesday.
Yes.
Mike's was yesterday, so May a good month for the boys in the booth. Big Mike. There's big Cedeno, Xavier Cedeno, as mentioned, pitched last night, a sinker slider with a cutter. Or sinker cutter slider changeup for the lefty. He's got a little bit of a funky delivery.
As he faces Sogard, and the first pitch, slider for a strike. Cedeno came in last night to face Stephen Vogt, and he retired him. That's the only hitter that he faced. There's the Rays bullpen. Talked about the amount of innings. They've been very good, though. They've been good in this series. Boxberger, the closer. But the amount of innings can get to you in the second half of the season. What you have is you have a lot of young starters who generally have it. Young starters may be good, but they don't always go deep into games, and that's what's happening with the Rays. So quick 0-2 to Sogard. Sogard, a single and a pop out. And he checked his swing. He did not go.
And the breaking ball, this one just a little bit worse. And Rivera, as he did last night, saying to his pitcher with a split finger fastball, you throw it and I'll block it, and he did.
Sogard up the middle, base hit center field. Reddick trots in to score, and a huge hit for Eric Sogard, a 2-out RBI single, and the A's have a 1-0 lead.
A huge hit by Sogard with a fastball. A huge mistake by the pitcher to throw the fastball. But fortunately, Sogard waiting maybe on another slider, reacted quickly on a fastball and right back up the middle. If he had opened up thinking about a fastball, maybe he would have pulled it for a ground ball. You can see Rivera a little bit upset that maybe with that call, a supposed waste pitch, tough to do. And Sogard sent it right back between the legs of the pitcher. Reddick started the opposite field hit, good and bad. in a 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Unfortunately, the A's get a hit with a runner in scoring position.
So see now if the A's can add on with Canna. Canna a single and a line out to right. So that run obviously charged to Carnes.
I think that proved one thing, that no matter how many breaking pitches you throw to a hitter, you decide you're going to throw a fastball, and you happen to put it in a location where you don't want it, it's going to get hit.
Yep.
I mean, it's amazing, and it's why a lot of times you see lefty on lefty just stay steady diet of breaking pitches, figuring I'll get you to chase one. He almost did in the 0-2. So got able to hold up and came back, tried to sneak a fastball by him, and he hit it. Graveman, there's your run, buddy.
Go get him.
Got out of a jam and sees his club score a run.
Two and one the count to Canna. Outside, now 3-1. Goes for a little walk. Muncy and Sogard are your runners, and the pitch is outside. He walked it.
Well, whether intentional or not, maybe they looked at there's a base open. It's called third because those pitches were not even close, and that's after 2 pretty good breaking pitches by Cedeno. He allows an inherited runner to score, which that's a statistic that relievers like to have 0. And as a result, the A's have the lead. Now another lefty up and a limited bench for Bob Melvin. So not much he can do if he wanted to.
First pitch to Fold is a bit outside. Fold a couple of groundouts, one to the pitcher and one to third. Missed again, 2-0. So Cedeno has allowed a single and a walk. It's funny, 2 minutes ago, Cedeno was feeling pretty good. He was ahead of Eric Sogard, 0-2. Frieri starts to throw.
And Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, went to his cap, which would indicate he wants to know if the pitcher's ready, and I think he's been up enough to be ready.
A little slider drops in first try. So the A's have one big hit in this inning. They need another one. And there it is, right center field, 1 run scores. Sogard comes in to score. The ball's kicked around by Kiermaier, and they're going to wave home Canna. The throw to the plate is there, but it's dropped by Rivera. All 3 runs score, and Fold ends up at third. It's 4-0, the A's lead. So Canna was going to be out at the plate, but Rivera just dropped the ball.
Hanging breaking ball from Cedeno. Great hitting by Fold. The big hit with a big hit up the middle. And watch the center field. Kiermaier trying to make too much out of this and missed the ball. I had to go back. But you're right. The strong throw. And it was to Rivera, and he just clanked it. He tried to make the tag before he actually had the ball in his glove. Kiermaier overran the ball. But a very, very strong, accurate throw. And maybe just enough that Rivera took his eye off the ball. So E8, E2. Is that what he said?
Well, he's got to get 2 RBIs on it.
I think he just said E8 on one scoring and E2 on the other. But
well, but the bases were loaded. I mean, both runs were going to score on the hit.
Right. 2 on that, right.
But I think he only said 1 RBI. Well, that's
it should have been 2.
He said 1 RBI, but it should be 2.
Exactly. That's because when he said E8, And he said that for Sogard. Well, Sogard was the trailing runner anyway.
So we'll see if that gets fixed. Yeah, both runs were going to score.
Yeah.
Sogard was scoring. Muncy was scoring. Canna scored because of the botched play in center field. Could have been a couple of misplays.
Scoring here has always been sketchy anyway, for some reason.
So Burns is out swinging, throw to first, but the A's get a couple of huge hits. One by Sogard and one by Full, 4-0.
Fastball has been outstanding. Front door, inside, Sogard with a base hit up the middle. That was a big one. A 1-2 fastball, 1 run, and then a walk, almost an unintentional, intentional. And for some reason, the official score did not think that base hit was going to score 2. And this was the second runner coming around, Canna. So the throw after Kiermaier missed the ball, made the strong throw. And so the error should have been Canna going to third, and then an error on Rivera. Canna trying to score, and Rivera dropping the ball. Should have been 2 errors on that play, and should have been 2 RBI. We will see, but we'll tell you that you can find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world.
So Graveman now with a 4-0 lead. That one rolled over on, and Kiermaier is out at first on a close play. So the A's get the speedy Kiermaier off the bases, and that'll bring up Souza.
Excellent play by Canna on a very close play at first base. Sogard charging it nicely to be able to get the play on the very, very fast Kiermaier.
So here's Souza, who takes a first pitch strike. Graveman has allowed just 2 hits.
Well, this may go down. The A's win this game. It will be the 5th inning for Graveman getting out of a first and second, nobody out, and then taking the momentum back to the A's dugout to score 4 runs.
Couple of strikeouts for Souza.
I guess the official score is thinking Kiermaier is superhuman, that he can throw out a runner on a 2-out base hit to center field. And they're still saying, they are reviewing. That's what I was listening to Big Mike as he was trying to explain about what the official score was saying. But you automatically, I mean, how rare is it that a base hit to center field, first and bases loaded, and 2 outs, runners going on contact, it doesn't get 2 RBIs.
With Andy Ramiro, we may see him next half inning. Left-hander just called up. Just 72 pitches for Kendall Graveman. So he's done a good job with the pitches per inning. Check swing back to the screen. Well, the A's had scored just 9 runs in their last 5 games, but they score 4 in the top of the 6th. One-two pitch. Very close, but a bit outside. 2-2.
Stephen Vogt caught Kendall Graveman his first 4 starts. This is the first one caught by Fegley. And it happened to be a kind of a mid-afternoon game. Good time for Stephen Vogt to get an afternoon off.
So full count to Souza with Longoria waiting in the on-deck circle. Inside, and he walked in. So Graveman will be a little frustrated with that. He's ahead of the count.
Good point, Cat, because the guy who's been striking out a lot, you know, is trying to get him to chase some pitches. He fouled a couple of check swings.
Number 3, Evan Longoria.
So here's Longoria. Longoria ground out and a pop out. So the only threat against Graveman today was in that 5th inning. He got out of it. Bounced up the middle and under the glove of Simeon. So Longoria has a base hit. Souza stops at second. So a little action here in the bottom of the 6th for the Rays.
Cap, I think that was a ball that Simeon maybe thought he could catch standing up. Otherwise, he might have left his feet to at least get the force. But I think right here is where it said catch the ball, flip to second to get a double play. Ball stayed down, and he could not get to the ball. Sometimes intentions are good, but ball picks up speed on this field turf, and that was shot through the infield quickly. No
Looks
chance
like
of grass slowing it down.
May have stayed down a little bit too on Simeon. So here's James Loney, left-handed hitter. After Loney, it's Forsythe. His bullpen is quiet. Loney has grounded out twice to the first baseman, and that one in the dirt, blocked nicely by Fegley.
Well, good sinker down, good block by Fegley, and
low again, and Loney, who generally has a pretty good eye, now sitting in a 2-0 count, so they have changed that call to give full 2 RBIs. Kurt Young wants to just slow it down a little bit for Graveman. So as they meet, interesting, Longoria and Souza, the 2 base runners, are also having a little meeting between first and second base. So here's Scribner. Scribner will start getting loose to make sure this inning doesn't get away from Graveman.
just utilize the sinking fastball and see if he can get the ground ball.
Graveman with a look at second, and the 2-0 pitch to Loney is right on the outside corner for a strike.
First batter, Kiermaier, 2-0 from the cut fastball, throw for a strike. And this is a cutter outside corner. Very good pitch for Graveman. It's working well for him. That's a variation of his fastball, the sinker. So basically like 3 pitches off the fastball.
Sogard scoops it up out at second, and Simeon will hold the throw. So first and third now, 2 outs.
Number 11, Logan Forsythe.
Ball just to the left of Sogard, and really not much you could do to double up Loney. And for Marcus Semien, with the runner getting on him very quickly, this is the time, especially with a run going to third, for Longoria to go in and maybe interference. I mean, he might not have been able to reach back to second base, but it's not always called. That one was not. But best thing was Semien not to try to throw the ball to create something that was hard to fathom actually turning into 2.
So now Graveman trying to get Forsythe. First pitch, first strike. 89 miles an hour with a lot of movement. Souza at third, Loney at first. Loney does not run real well. Blocked by Fegley, saves a run.
Well, that's important this time right now to keep a runner from scoring. Fegley, and that is a good movement to his right on the hard cutter in the dirt. So Marcus Jensen can give him credit for the hard work he's put in for the catchers, and that time it worked out well.
Good pitch, and now it's 1-2. Probably doesn't look like a strike to the hitter because of all the movement.
Great two-seamer back door. So the cutter away, almost very similar to that of Jesse Chavez, the way he pitches.
Well, he went out there again, and that one rolled foul down the third baseline.
That's what's hard on a hitter. You're right-hander. You have one pitch that goes outside to the inside, and then you have a pitch that's inside going to the outside. So you got same type of pitch, same location, different direction.
Setting up outside again, and the fastball is high. A couple of high-stress innings for Graveman in the 5th, and here again in the 6th. Pitch number 87, here it is, and he got him on the inside corner. So Graveman gets out of the jam. Couple of runners stranded by the Rays. We're headed to the 7th. 4-0 the A's lead.
From Thursday, May 28th, that's next Thursday, through Sunday, May 31st, a week from tomorrow. Thursday through Sunday. 4-game series. Great seats are still available, but don't wait. Get your tickets now at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 877-493-BALL. Yankees blistered again today.
Yes, they did.
Wow.
Big time. 15-4 the Yankees lost to the Rangers. That was ugly. Enny Romero is the new pitcher. Left-hander as he faces Marcus Semien. Romero just called up from the minor leagues. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Those are the numbers from AAA Durham. He pitched in 1 game last year for the Rays at the big league level. Backhanded at third by Forsythe. Semien is retired. 1 away here in the top of the 7th.
Right fielder, Josh Reddick.
So 15-4 was the final, Ray. And the Texas Rangers scored 10 runs in the 3rd inning. Chu homered. He's starting to hit. It was his 7th. Prince Fielder homered. It was his 8th. Nick Martinez got the win. So Martinez continues his fine season for the Rangers. He's 4-0 with a 1.96 ERA. CC Sabathia took the loss. He gave up 6 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings. So the Rangers have won 5 out of 6, and they've scored 25 runs in the first 2 games of that series at Yankee Stadium. Reddick taps the one. Picked up by throw is in the dirt, and I mean in the dirt.
That's a spike.
Romero spiked it. And Loney, who's a very good first baseman, if he makes that play, he may be the greatest first baseman ever.
That's a base hit, and really Reddick just beat it to the ground. And I was thinking if this kid threw it to first as hard as he throws the plate, and was. That's one Loney did very smartly. He just watched him just put his glove up and bailed. And please find my glove, because I have no chance and I don't want it in my face. And actually it hit Reddick, so base hit is the call, and that's a good call. Good hustle single by Josh Reddick.
So 10 hits for the A's, and here's Butler. Fastball in there, first strike, 96 miles an hour from Enny Romero. Butler's got a hit. He's singled in the 4th. Right towards second, scooped up by Franklin, and this will be a double play. So Taylor made double play, 4-6-3, side retired. 7th inning stretch from Tropicana Field. It's the A's 4 and the Rays nothing. Insider Joe Stiglitz provides wire-to-wire reporting on the A's 2015 season. He's got breaking news, video, special features, and much, much more. It's only on CSNCalifornia.com. Bottom of the 7th here from Tropicana Field. A's with a 4-0 lead behind Kendall Graveman. Graveman has struck out 6. He's walked 1, and he's allowed just 3 hits. So he'll face David DeJesus leading off the 7th. DeJesus, Cabrera, and Franklin. Astros are leading the Tigers 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning in Detroit. The Tigers have won the first 2 games of that 4-game series. Lance McCullers made his 2nd big league start today. He is out of the game, but pitched well.
Jeff Luhnow, the general manager, said he would get at least 1 more start, and it's today in Detroit.
Tigers will be at the Coliseum Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then, as Ray mentioned, the Yankees Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yoenis Cespedes comes back to the Bay Area. He'll be in a Tigers uniform. Scribner throwing again. He's ready to go when needed. (3-1) to DeJesus is on the outside corner, strike called. DeJesus doesn't agree.
A 2-seam fastball, barely on the corner, if there. He's called by the umpire.
So the Rays looking for base runners. 3-2 pitch is just a touch inside. So leadoff walk. DeJesus has been on base all 3 times. A single, hit by a pitch, and now the walk.
Did not come back as far as he wanted it. Bob Melvin coming out, and looks like that's going to be it, as he's taking a walk with 93 pitches for Graveman. A very good outing. Unfortunately, been nice to see him stay in this game longer, but the leadoff walk does it. But a very nice performance by Graveman, his first start coming back.
6+ innings for Graveman. So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil.
California is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
A's hanging on to a 4-0 lead. Graveman goes 6+ innings. So he was very good tonight. 93 pitches. Lots of ground ball outs. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. So he will sit back and watch the bullpen. And it starts with Evan Scribner. 22nd appearance for Scribner. That is a American League high as he faces Asdrubal Cabrera. First pitch in for a strike. Franklin to follow here in the 7th.
Well, a lot of times we see relievers, whether for the A's or other teams, come out of the bullpen. The adrenaline is high, and they get through the inning and sit down. They have some trouble, so maybe Bob Melvin Scribner gets through the 7th and go to the 8th and 9th and try to pick up a win in this 3rd game. It's the ideal formula. A good curveball following a good fastball. Scribner a good one, and a swing and a miss by Cabrera.
Oh, 2. And a good fastball, 91 miles an hour with movement. And on 3 pitches, Asdrubal Cabrera strikes out for the 3rd time today.
The slow curve and then the accelerated fastball, maybe off the plate, but it got a little bit extra on it, and Cabrera just no contact. And Cabrera just hitting over 200 now, maybe around the 200 mark or below after 3 strikeout day.
Here's Franklin. See, Asdrubal Cabrera's offensive numbers really decline over the last 3 years.
Yep.
There was a 3-4 year period where he was a terrific all-around player for the Indians. But as you said, now hitting close to 200. Franklin has hit a fly ball to center and a fly ball to left. There's a strike. Scribner will enjoy himself if he gets that pitch called a strike.
Yes, he will. That's a good point.
Very good lead at first by DeJesus, and a swing and a miss. Franklin chased it.
It's kind of a tantalizing curveball. Scribner said he kind of holds the ball back in his hand. A lot of guys will put it out on the fingertips, but he holds the ball back in his hand and throw the curveball, so he's not able to throw it real hard. Kind of floats it in. A.J. Griffin, of course, with a single digit, uses 1 finger on the curveball, so it reduces the velocity, or at least the capability. But Scribner, that just 12-6, and it's a very, very good rotating. Now he's added the cutter and a good fastball. Here's another curveball. See if it's the same type.
Runner goes. Fegley blocks it. Throw to second base, and they got him. Woo. DeJesus with a base running mistake.
Well, I just really credit Fegley. What a tremendously strong arm. Blocked the ball, secondary lead, and so DeJesus trying to make something happen. And what a strong, and it had to be a perfect throw right there. And Semien to make the tag after the very strong throw by Fegley right on the bag. And yep, that's that look of I have to run all the way back to the dugout.
And Scribner reaches up, grabs the line drive, side retired. So 8th inning coming up. A's with a 4-0 lead over the Rays.
Fans purchase a group of 25 or more in the field level on select games, and everyone in your group will receive an A's replica batting practice pullover. For more information on available games or to book your group Jersey Day outing, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/jersey.
Top of the 8th inning, Andy Perino is going to hit for Max Muncy. Perino is a switch hitter. Facing Enny Romero, who's into his 2nd inning of work. AAA numbers for Perino. He was the starting shortstop last night. Had a couple of at-bats.
I was thinking about Kendall Graveman, who's pitched very well today, 6+ innings. The difference on a position player and a starting pitcher. Graveman had the opportunity to fly in yesterday, get ready for today. For the Perino, he, I think, got up at 3 or 4 in the morning yesterday.
He's in there.
Because Nashville's in Fresno, had to fly all the way across the country here. And same for Arnold Leon. He showed up, he had a 3 o'clock. So relievers and position players much different than a starter. And Graveman did come in and had a little bit extra time.
We were here before Andy Perino was yesterday.
Exactly that way.
Fegley to follow, and then Sogard here in the top of the 8th. He's with all 4 of their runs coming in the 6th inning. A couple of huge 2-out hits. Perino fouls it back.
Yeah, Delera reminds us about Big Nate Fryman flew all the way across the country last year to Miami. Hit a home run first at bat.
Some coffee and a muffin, go get him.
A whole bunch of coffee. He called Chili at 3 in the morning and said, "Hey, I'm here. Let's get some extra BP."
3-2 pitch, fastball and a good one. Swing and a miss by Perino. So 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning.
On a high fastball after falling to the 3-2 count, Perino just could not catch up to the good hitter. But a switch hitter is this young man Perino.
Here's Fegley for his 4th at bat. Fegley with a fly ball to right field, a single, and a strikeout. Angels will be at Fenway again tonight. Last night the Angels scored 12 runs and won 12-5. It'll be Wilson for the Angels tonight, Wright for the Red Sox. 1-2 now to Fegley. Angels are playing good baseball. They've won 8 out of 11. And they're a couple of games over 500. Red Sox going the other way. They're 7-13 in the month of May. Fastball fouled straight back. Good interleague series. Royals and the Cardinals playing again tonight, and the Royals are playing great baseball. They have won 6 out of 7.
Yeah, I-70.
Yeah. Fegley toward right. Souza comes in. He's got it. The Royals have the best record in all of baseball coming into today. They're 27-14. And they're just a little bit better than the St. Louis Cardinals. So that's a good series.
And at Comiskey Park today, or whatever it's called now, a game in which the Twins are leading the White Sox, but a special day as Paul Konerko's number 14 was retired. And that is a great tribute to Paulie, as they called him. And I guess they built a statue, and we're going to see that one going in September. But the number 14 retired, and supposedly gave him the ball that he hit the Grand Slam in the World Series in 2005. It was against the Astros. But the most memorable of that, and probably will never be forgotten, by Jerry Reinsdorf. And, you know, it's one of those, what do you give somebody who has everything? How about the final out of the World Series in 2005? And Konerko presented that to Mr. Reinsdorf at the parade in Chicago after they defeated the Houston Astros. And that is a long time coming for the White Sox to win the World Series.
Big time.
So the Red Sox, White Sox, Giants, all those teams right in succession. But a great day for Paul Konerko and the White Sox, and very deserving for Paulie.
Sogard with a walk. So the good offensive day continues for Sogard. Couple of hits and now a walk. So Canna will hit. Yeah, the Twins are leading that game over the White Sox 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Astros still leading the Tigers 3-2, bottom of the 8th at Comerica Park. Canna today has singled, lined out, and walked. He walked and scored in the 6th. Good swing there on a fastball that was out over the plate.
Against this young man, pretty good idea to start your swing a little bit early. So he can throw hard. Maybe showing triple digits on the scoreboard pretty soon as hard as he's throwing.
He's pumping it in there. That one at 97. Looks like Scribner's going to head back out there for the bottom of the 8th after a good 7th inning. Missed again, 2-1. Carnes went 5 2/3, and Xavier Cedeno came in. He got 1 out, but he gave up a couple of huge 2-out hits for the A's. Romero in the 2nd inning of work. Attendance today 15,207.
What if they'll open the gates for the concert after the game? I mean, I'm sure maybe a special ticket for the Jacksons. Post game.
If you buy a game ticket, you get to see the concert for free. Maybe they'll let more people in for the concert.
Didn't they say that? Didn't they say before the game that everybody would be able to go on the field for the concert?
Yeah, I think they set up the stage, maybe out in center field.
Oh, quite a treat. Get out on this field turf and dig down and get some ground up tires. Not like Clay Woods grass at the Coliseum. I mean, that's the fireworks. Got another one coming up pretty soon. 6 fireworks at the Coliseum.
3-1 pitch, way outside, back-to-back walks. So the A's have received 4 walks now. And we'll have a conference at the mound.
And we know what this one's about, don't we? It's like, you know, we've used our bullpen a lot, and you're out here. We brought you up for this reason alone, so you could get some outs, get some innings, get some work in, and hang with them. And Rivera just translated to him what Jim Hickey just said.
Throw strikes.
Because you're the man. You're here for the duration. You know it's a dead giveaway when Jim Hickey looked at Rivera, the catcher, because
that's true.
Just to let him know. But I think you described it perfectly. The bullpen overworked, actually worked a lot the first 2 games, and you have to get somebody to absorb some innings and save the guys down in the pen.
So here's Fold hitting off Enny Romero, who right now is probably not a real comfortable at bat for anybody.
No.
Sogard takes off, and Sogard's going to steal 3rd. He's not being held on. Middle infielders just letting him get a big lead, so Sogard grabs it. So that's the 2nd steal in the game for the A's. Burns had 1 in the 1st inning. He got 4 steals now in the series. That one in for a strike, 97 miles an hour. Now we get some action in the A's bullpen. Fernando Rodriguez just now starting to throw.
It's Fernando, and maybe, depending on what happens on this at bat, and talk about a big at bat for Sam Fuld and Eric Sogard with a 2-out base hit up the middle. But what Sam Fuld did, he added to, and then an error allowed the 4th run to score in the inning. That was a huge hit by Sam Fuld.
3-1 pitches inside, and now this young man has walked the bases loaded with Burns coming up. He got the first 2 outs on a strikeout and a fly ball to right field. So Billy Burns with an RBI opportunity. Billy Burns does not have a big league RBI, so maybe this is the time. Sogard at third, Canna at second, Fuld at first.
He better dial it up a notch this fastball.
Not close. 1-0.
If he walks, he gets ribby, so that'll work.
That's all you need.
Right now, this young man, after striking out Muncy, Fagley, fly ball to right field.
Pitch missed again. He's missing in the same spot. It's outside to the right-handed hitters, inside to the left-handed hitters.
And how many times have we seen a pitcher throw exclusively fastballs, and some man might have not much more he can offer, but right now his fastball with the movement and just in general the fastball not able to be thrown consistently in the strike zone. And with Fernando Rodriguez warming up, this is because this inning has become very long. You don't want a reliever to sit too long on the bench. As Scribner has been, if the first 2 outs were recorded and the third quickly, it might have made a different story. Or been a different story, but 3 walks, a lot of pitches, and Scribner sitting a while.
So 2-1 to Burns. 1 for 4 today. Had a base hit to start the game. Way outside, and now it's 3-1. And at this point, I'm not sure Manny Romero could throw 2 strikes in a row.
That's right, which means that Billy Burns might be taking 3-1, or at least be selective enough that if he gets a good pitch, if he's going to drive it, but load up and look fastball, that's all he's throwing.
And it's not close, and Billy Burns has his first big league RBI. That's 4 straight walks by Manny Romero, and the A's now lead 5-0. And the problem is, Ray, is he's missing by a lot.
Yeah. Well, and the good thing, I mean, he's walked the 7th, 8th, 9th, and leadoff hitter. So Billy Burns, his first major league ribby, and one he'll always remember.
He'll say, that guy from the Rays was throwing hard.
And I battled him right to the 3-1, taken all the way.
Here's Simeon. There's a slider. That was a good pitch. Maybe the best pitch he's thrown in this game. Hard slider.
So Rivera might be the problem, just putting down the 1 for the fastball, and it's a nasty slider. And man, if you can't throw a fastball for a strike, you have that in the back pocket, use it.
Rene Rivera with the play of the game.
Check his shoulder.
Check the webbing of his glove.
You know, their team doctors, Dr. Andrews, he may be needed. Wow. I mean, that takes your shoulder and you reach back. Wow. That's a saver. You put that down as a block.
Simeon shoots it to right field. Hit pretty well. Sousa gets back. He's got it. So side retired. 4 consecutive walks. A's get a run. Bottom of the 8th coming up. The A's lead 5-0. Here's our game summary for today. It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. It was a 0-0 game through 5, but then the A's with a 4 spot in the 6th. Sogard and Fold huge 2-out hits. A's added a run in the 8th, so 5-0. 5-10-0 for the Athletics. 0-3-2 for the Rays. The Rays' 2 errors happened on the same play. So Graveman was very good in his return to the big leagues. That's a good sign for the A's. So Sogard continues his solid play. Couple hits, couple of runs scored today for the A's second baseman. Andy Perino now in the game at third. So Scribner is back out there. He'll face Rivera, Kiermaier, and Souza. That one hit high in the air to left center, hit pretty well. Fold and Burns come together, and it's going to be Burns in deep left center field. So Rivera with a long drive.
Remember the year that Jack Cuss joined the club and played here and hit his first home run in that same direction, left center field by Big Jack Cuss.
That's right.
When Mike Piazza had the injury at third base in Boston. When Mike Lowell tagged him or tried to, and he tried to avoid it, and next thing you know, Jack Cuss is hitting home runs to left center here in the huge yard, Tropicana Field.
First pitch to Kiermaier is a strike. That's right. We were like, Jack Cuss. Yeah. Heard of this guy a little bit.
Babe Cuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hitting a lot of home runs and had some good years with the A's.
Kiermaier shoots one into center field for a 1-out single. So hit number 4 for the Rays. It's a leadoff single.
I mentioned about the curveball thrown by Evan Scribner. This is a curveball, and it's thrown slowly, and that's why if it's back in a hand, you cannot adjust the velocity. Ideally, sometimes you want to bounce it, throw it hard enough to bounce it, and other times it's left up like that, and the hitter stay back. They can hit it as Kiermaier did. Rodriguez back up in the A's bullpen.
Here's Souza.
Oh, Clippard. Excuse me. Thank you, Mike. I just assumed it was going to be. Well, he hasn't worked, so maybe that's the reason Clippard's going to get some work in. Forget about save or no save, just some work for the A's closer.
Souza takes a strike. A couple of strikeouts and a walk for Souza. He's struck out 7 times in this series. He does have a home run. There's a shot to Fold, getting back, and Sam Fold makes the catch and crashes into the wall, and the A's got a chance for a double play. Sogard cannot quite handle the relay throw back in. But Kiermaier was going to make it back as he had to touch second base, and he's got that great speed. But what a play by Sam Fold.
Shall we go back to Towles Hill when A's won a game because of a great play by Sam Fold in center? He does it again. Scribner on the mound. Sam Fold, bang, into the wall, and a rounded second had Kiermaier, but he was quick enough to get back. But Sam Fold, Super Sam, and they call him that here a lot, probably because of plays like that. Great play, reached out, did the same thing at Towles Hill at Minute Maid Park. So he likes orange juice.
Yes, he does. Almost looked like his glove extended right at the exact time it needed to catch the ball.
And you see why Souza is well liked, because of that power. That ball jumped off his bat. Came close to being a home run.
1-1 to Longoria. Astros still leading the Tigers 3-2. That game in the top of the 9th inning. The Tigers will get one more shot. Popped up right field, shallow. Sogard out, Reddick in. Sogard grabs it, side retired. So we got 2 innings of work by Evan Scribner. We're going to the 9th inning. 5-0. A's lead. Beautiful play by Sam Fold in the bottom of the 8th inning. Watch that glove just get long right when it needed to.
Exactly right, Cap. And that's why outfielders use that extra long glove, because there, the snow cone, bang against the wall, cradle it down into the pocket, hang on, and almost turn a double play.
So Andy Romero back out there.
Oh, my goodness.
Woo. Look out, folks. Thunder and lightning back. That was so loud that got a cheer from the crowd. We don't have a whole lot of thunder and lightning in California.
No. They always say that when it thunders, lightning's right behind it.
Usually they're related.
That's the Midwest.
They're
thing,
relatives,
right?
yes.
What is it, within about 2-3 seconds?
That's right. They follow each other.
You know, Reddick must be used to it, because when Franklin heard just a smattering of a thunder, he stepped out of the box. But Reddick just stayed right there and said, sounds like home down in Georgia.
Rips that one as he got out in front of the fastball.
Well, with Evan Scribner on the mound, Springer at the plate, looked like a home run, 2-1 game, and Super Sam did it again. Towels Hill. And as we looked at that more and more, that's in center field with Springer's speed. Springer probably would have had an inside the park home run.
Well, it would have been a possibility. Yep.
Because the way Sam banged against the wall, the ball had carried him back onto the field. And remember that incline, the ball would have kept rolling, and very hard for other outfielders to back him up.
3-2 pitch, popped up, shallow center. Cabrera is under it. Looked like Kiermaier, the center fielder, did not see it, but Cabrera had it all the way, 1 out. So that'll bring up Billy Butler. Butler 1 for 4. He had a base hit in the 4th inning. So breezy and thinking about raining some more. Those folks, they've had enough. It's a little over 15,000 in the ballpark. That's about what the Rays are averaging this year. Off speed pitch by Romero. Look at the changing, 84 miles an hour. He's been running that fastball up there at 96, 97. He walked 4 consecutive hitters with 2 outs in the 8th inning to force in a run.
And against Semyon, he kept, or at least started to throw the slider after missing with the fastballs. It makes you wonder, because catcher Rivera's been around long enough to know that if a pitcher has tough time throwing fastballs for strikes, you go to something else. And he finally did to Semyon, and it worked. And usually when you start throwing breaking balls for strikes, the fastball, you get that back, and you get kind of back to normal.
So Butler behind in the count, 1-2. And there's a good breaking ball, and Butler swings and misses. He's tagged out. So this inning, Andy Romero looks like a different pitcher.
And a hard breaking ball, you get a fastball, and if you don't pick up the spin, you're going to have that happen to you. And unfortunately for Billy Butler, swung the pitch out of the strike zone.
So Perino gets his second at bat. He pinch hit for Muncy last inning and struck out. Takes a first pitch strike from Romero. The Clippard warming up, so he's going to come in even with a 5-0 lead. That breaking ball, Romero throwing more breaking balls now. So one more game left in this series, and then the A's will head home for a week. Good homestand. Tigers and the Yankees. So playing poorly with the Tigers and Yankees coming to town, it's probably not a great idea. So get Sonny Gray going tomorrow for the A's. So this would be a good game for the A's to win. But as I say that, Yankees are not playing well at all. Yankees have lost 5 in a row and 9 out of 10 now.
Now with CC Sabathia pitching yesterday, it means the Vallejo native will get a chance to start at the Coliseum next Thursday or Friday.
2-out walk. So after the Tigers for 3, Yankees for 4, then the A's back on the road will leave Monday, June 1st, for 3 in Detroit, and then 3 in Boston. So we're going to see the Tigers a lot.
And enjoy those, because that's it. 3 in Oakland and 3 in Detroit the next week.
And we've already seen the Red Sox at the Coliseum, so we'll be at Fenway, and then that's it for the Red Sox.
And you check off, you check off the cities where the A's have gone: Minnesota, Kansas City, Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
As they're out of the division, that's it. Seen Houston twice, just one more there. And this has just made the 24th in that new scheduling, interdivisional, 3 times each city, but outside, 1 and done.
A's will be in New York right before the All-Star break, the week before the All-Star break. Fegley had a good swing. So Andy Romero has thrown 53 pitches out of the bullpen. And a slider. Fegley swings and misses, and that'll do it. So Romero with a couple of strikeouts. Here's the 9th inning coming up. Clippard coming in. 5-0 A's lead.
How to play the game. Kendall Graveman, his first start since coming back from Nashville, and cut fastball, and we talked about him getting ground ball outs. He had 9. Cutter was working great. Good changeup. That was a big strikeout. Cabrera with first and second, and then he finished off that inning with another strikeout. Backed up, front door, kind of a breaking ball, getting his strikeout. So Kendall Graveman, an outstanding performance. So welcome back, looking for a second major league win. And the skipper looking, even got Mike Aldretti feeling good about the Jacksons after the game. He's enjoying a lead of 5-0 into the bottom of the 9th.
So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune Up, your oil change, tune up, and brake expert. So Clippard comes in. Tyler Clippard. He last pitched on Monday in Houston, so it has been a while. So he'll face James Loney leading it off here in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch fastball outside.
Did you have some news on Doolittle? He's been pitching, right?
Yeah.
In Nashville, for Nashville. So maybe he should be back soon as well. And,
I would think. Yeah. I would think that's getting pretty close. 1-0 pitch to Loney. Fouled straight back. Astros hang on and beat the Tigers 3-2. Lance McCullers, who we saw in his major league debut, he got the win today. Went 6 innings, had 6 strikeouts, gave up a couple of runs. So Lance McCullers with the help of 4 relievers. Change up, swing and a miss. Final one being Gregerson, who gets the save. So the Astros get their 28th win. James Loney today is 0 for 3. He's grounded out 3 times. Not close, 2-2. Good 2 innings from Scribner. Just gave up 1 hit. And a strikeout. Shallow right. Long run for Reddick, but he'll get there as Sogard bails out right at the end. 1 out.
Third baseman, number 11, Logan Forsythe.
So here's Logan Forsythe. A's post-game live coming up after this ball game. So hopefully we can give the guys back in the studio a win to talk about. He's trying to break the 4-game losing streak. Nice play down there. The seats kind of hanging out just past the A's dugout. Forsythe doubled in the 5th. It was the inning where the Rays had 1st and 2nd and nobody out but could not score. Graveman did a nice job. Somebody made a good point first night we were here, Ray, about Logan Forsythe, who really is a guy who can play a number of different positions. He's a pretty good hitter. And you wonder if that didn't come into thinking. The Rays said we can trade Ben Zobrist.
That's true.
Because Forsythe does a little bit of what Ben Zobrist did. I mean, second base, third base, shortstop.
And a very strong arm.
Yeah.
And with that kind of an arm, probably can play the outfield as well. So infield, outfield, same as Zobrist.
Inside the count, 2-2.
But Ben's going to be a free agent at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So all that factored in, maybe that would be it. He's trying to get another shutout and make the boys happy as local time approaching 7.
Good pitch outside corner at the knees. Forsythe is called out on strikes. 2 outs here in the 9th inning. So that's 8 strikeouts for A's pitchers tonight.
Paint on the corner and a quality 2-strike pitch. Forsythe stands there looking and wonders sometimes why they take strike 3. That's one of the reasons, because it was a perfectly thrown fastball. Close, called for the A's, and not much you can do about it.
So here's DeJesus. DeJesus, a single, was hit by a pitch, and he has walked. So he's been on base all 3 times. Toward Reddick. Reddick hustling in, but he'll have to play it on a hop near the line. So DeJesus has a 2-out hit, so he's had a good series.
When you think about trying to make a spectacular play, there's a changeup hit off the end of the bat, and just the fact that it was hit softly as it was, no chance, and really no real possibility for Reddick to make the spectacular play, turn it into extra bases.
So here's Cabrera. Cabrera really wants to put it in play. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. All 3 of his strikeouts have been swinging. And he lines a base hit to left field. Nobody wants to strike out 4 times.
Yeah.
Get a pitch to hit early.
Another elevated fastball, and he guessed correctly on the first pitch fastball. Location. That helped Cabrera, who, like you said, you don't want 4 strikeouts, put the ball in play, and you get a fastball, you can do exactly that. Souza has had 4 strikeout games, so he's experienced that, but nobody wants it.
So 2 on 2 out. Here's Nick Franklin. Franklin is 0 for 3. His last at bat, he had kind of a soft line drive right back at Scribner. Scribner reached up and grabbed it. Franklin just off the disabled list. And hurt in spring training. That oblique strain got him. So he's been out for a while. Takes again, and it's 2-0. So 6 hits now for the Rays with the 2 they have this inning. They've made a couple of errors. He's 1 out away from breaking their losing streak. Now 3-0. That's Joey Butler, who has come out into the on deck circle. That's Rene Rivera's spot in the order. The 3-0 pitch is inside. Clippard thought it was a strike. So the bases are loaded, 2 outs. And here's Butler.
You see a little frustration on the face of Clippard, who got a fly ball and a strikeout, and now single walk. But inactivity sometimes creates that. Don't like to throw that many pitches, but he does get some work in.
So here's the pinch hitter, Butler. First pitch to Butler. Holds up, but it's called a strike.
The hitter after a walk, 5-run lead, bases loaded, thinking I'm going to get a fastball, and he pulled the trigger, pulled the string, and floated a perfect changeup towards the middle of the plate.
Butler played on Friday night. He was 1 for 3. Got another changeup, and now he's behind in the count 0-2. Jesus at third, Cabrera at second, Franklin at first. Sogard, one of the stars tonight. Oh, 2 pitch to Butler. Here it is. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's the ball game. So the A's get their 6th shutout of the year. Kendall Graveman gets his 2nd win. So it's great to see Graveman come back from the minor leagues, and he pitches 6 shutout innings. Scribner for 2, Clippard for 1, and that's a shutout for the Athletics. So game 3 of this 4-game series goes to the A's. The final score this afternoon from Tropicana Field, it's the Athletics 5 and the Rays nothing. You've been watching A's baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Brody Brazil and Pip Roberts starts right now.